to day 5 of the Cash In Challenge. Wow, how many of you guys felt that in your heart? I feel like I'm back in the Vinoy after watching that. We have an incredible day 3 planned for you guys. How many of you guys would love to be coached by Bridget on everything that we learned over the past few days? Drop a me in the chat if you would love to come up today, to have some hot seat coaching, to have Bridget get her eyes on your movement messaging. Yes, yes. Freedom Queen Live was literally as epic as it looked, says Anastasia. Scarlett says literal goosebumps. Yes, and we are celebrating everybody who's been buying their tickets. Tickets are moving. We have the current Your $1 Million Year special offer open until July 19th, and we're so excited to see everybody in the room at the Vinoy. It is, can't even imagine how it's going to be better than last year, but we have some intel behind the scenes that it's going to be even better. So we are so excited. Today we have a massive day because we are going to be really diving into how to become an activating leader, and Bridget is going to be bringing you up on the hot seat to really dive into a lot of what we've covered over the past few days. And how many of you are starting to see how to move people? Yesterday we talked about the 3 pillars of movement content. We talked about creating events that move people. We talked about really dialing in the vehicle, the who. Are you starting to see how the high-end movement really makes people feel? It really makes people feel like they're in this world of their own, like a world that you've created. It really pulls you into a category of one. Vanessa says yes, Sylvie says me. I love this. So today that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be bringing you guys up on Hot Seat with Bridget. And then we also have a very special guest in the room. I see her on. She looks like an icon. Alicia Morton with her sunglasses on. So we're going to have her come up here for just a minute, and then we're going to bring Bridget on and do some hot seat coaching. So if you know that you want to get on the hot seat today, make sure you're ready to raise your hand on Zoom. Make sure you're ready to come on up. And I'm going to be bringing Alicia up here on the call. Now, Alicia is an absolute rock star, if you can't tell, with her sunglasses. She looks like an icon right now. Hello, I'm so happy that you're here. And Alicia is just an incredible human all around. But Alicia came to Freedom Queen Live last year. She did not know Bridget. Bridget was this brand new woman in her world. She came to the event because somebody invited her. Somebody shared this event with her. She joined the Freedom Queen Mastermind, and now she's doing 100K months. Now she's also pioneering too, also one of the first international Freedom Queen events, which is so extraordinary, in London. Freedom Queen's going to London, taking over London, and we're going to bring Alicia May up today. I cannot be more excited to welcome her to the room. Alicia, hello, how are you?
Hi, hey Freedom Queens and Freedom King, I see you, Ali, I see you, hey. Yes, welcome, hello, it's so good to be here, thank you, Ali. Hello everyone, oh my goodness, I have got a story. I should call it an activation more really to lock you in. Like, is it okay if I move you in the room today and like get you really turned on and really connected to the power of Freedom Queen in the movement? Drop a yes in the chat if you're ready for that. Like inner world activation to feel the parts of my story, recognize yourself in the mirror of it, and see just how incredible this moment is for you, because I know that you're going to walk off of this room, this Zoom room, not the same with what we've got planned for you today. So welcome. I'm going to start from the beginning, and Ali already mentioned a part of this story to you, but I literally didn't know who this Bridget James Ling chick was like 18 months ago, but a little less than that. And I had a friend that was already working with Bridget in a capacity, and she put in a group chat. Has anyone made friends in the industry, by the way, like been in coaching programs or on retreats and made friends? Yeah, so one of my friends that I met through another mastermind, we had a little bit of a WhatsApp chat with some girls that were from the coaching industry, and she dropped in there in April of 2024. hey ladies, I've booked onto this event called Freedom Queen with Bridget, my coach. Does anyone want to come to Florida? And to be honest with you, she didn't really have to say too much else because I'm the kind of girl that catches flights, not feelings. So I was like, okay, I am in. Did no due diligence, was like, let's go, Freedom Queen. It's got the word queen in it. I call myself queen all the time in my content. Clearly I'm meant to be in the room. And I moved and said yes very, very quickly because I knew I wanted to go with my friend and I wanted to be there. And then as actually I got to know more about Freedom Queen, I kind of did the reverse of what you guys are doing, right? Like over this week in Cash in July, you've got to know more about Bridget, this movement, about the incredible women of Freedom Queen and all the things we've created. But I then did it in reverse. I said yes, and then started to learn in the months that led up to the Freedom Queen Live event in Tampa just how phenomenal this woman called Bridget was. And attending a couple of the programs that took place in the interim, on the lead up, I started to see more and more of Bridget's content, and I thought, yes, okay, all right, okay, I'm buckled in, I'm ready. I started to get my looks ready for the event. I was like, yes, I'm gonna walk into the room, main character energy. I know nobody, but I am so ready to walk into this room and let this event be an event that changes my life. So I got myself ready to go to Freedom Queen. Many of you know the story from the original times, but if you don't, we had a bit of a script change to Freedom Queen plans because along came a hurricane and the date shifted from September through to November. And I thought, you know what? Actually, although initially I was ready, I was geared up, I literally was about to get the plane that morning, I thought to myself, you know what the great thing about this is? I actually don't quite think the suitcase was ready for me. You know, I was ready to get some next level outfits. Is anyone in the room, by the way, going to Freedom Queen? Let me know in the chat because I cannot wait to see what you're wearing. Honestly, it is like a catwalk of the most hot people from all over the world in one place, literally just radiating like wealth and health and gorgeousness and all of the Freedom Queen energy. So I elevated my wardrobe. I got ready for November. I came on the plane to Freedom Queen Live. I landed in Florida. And honestly, I did not know that those moves that I made up until that point, each single one that I made to get myself in the room, I didn't have a clue in that moment in time what it was about to do for me, but it changed my whole life. And I know so many of you in this room know me or even have seen parts of my journey, maybe just the end of it. Ta-da, the 100K months we've hit, woohoo! And hear me now, I'm about to have a 250,000 week next week. We just planned it out, I'm so excited. This is what we do before Freedom Queen, we go big, yeah? So this was such a huge shift for me. And do you know what it ultimately was? I'm gonna let you into a little secret because it's something that you can actually access right now in this room today. It was by saying yes. It was by just deciding. It was by in my body going, do you know what? I've got two things that could happen here. I could attend another event, take notes in my notepad, walk away, put that in a drawer somewhere dusty and never pull it out again to implement it. Or I can walk in the room and let it be an activation, let it be a remembering, let it be a moment in the room where I actually connect back to the bigger vision of my dreams because I saw all those incredible speakers. You saw some of them in the show reel at the start, yeah? Shayna, Hannah, Courtney, Alexandra, like so many, Bridget herself, of course, and everything that was created. I saw these women in front of me and it was like a mirror. Does anyone else see that sometimes? You see content or you see people doing things and you're like, I could sell out a 100-person event. I could do this. I could create, and it just opened up and cracked open all of this opportunity. Yes, Valentine. Yes, Anna. Yes, you see that in people, right? And it was a remembering because I played small again. I've minimized myself again. Has anyone had that in their journey in business where you start off with the big dreams when you're a newbie into the field and you're like, yeah, I've got all these things I want to do. And then you minimize yourself back down to protect your little heart because maybe you've had some difficult client situations or maybe launches didn't quite go to plan. And I realized actually, Alicia, you're not here to play small. You're here to play big. So I said yes. In that room, I was one of the first women that moved to the back. I ran to the back. I was like a girl in Black Friday sale, ready to push people out of the way and get that spot. And I got my spot on the Freedom Queen Mastermind. And in less than 24 hours, I doubled back my investment. Woo! Can we get some of that? Like, this is what we love to see when you move and create this. Of course, naturally, what happened? God delivered and went, okay, Alicia, I'm gonna give you this money back straight away. And then I just continued to move because what happens sometimes is we make one move, yeah? We do one move, we do one thing, and we're like, yeah, that's it. And I went, no, I said I'm going big. I said I'm going first. I said I'm gonna keep going first because movement makers go first. And I go first. Do you go first? Yeah? That is what I kept doing throughout the months. And then I ended 2024 with a $450,000 quarter. That was 3 times the income, almost 4 actually, that I'd made in the 9 months prior. I blew up. I did that thing, I made a quantum leap happen. because I decided, I moved, I went all in, and it was this shift within my frequency. And look, what I'm about to say now, for some people, you won't necessarily agree, but I'm going to tell you the real truth about that. It was within me that shifted. I didn't suddenly start posting on my grid 25 times a month. I didn't suddenly follow a 10-step blueprint on how to make a funnel. What I did do was switch on this activation, this energy, this knowing in me, and I went, I'm going for it. I'm going to be walking that stage next year for millions, not just for my 6 figures. And here I am now, working with Bridget one-to-one, going to Miami with her shortly in October to have a VIP. I'm all in. I am what it means to be a Freedom Queen. You've seen me going around the world on tour with all of these different events through the year. And of course, I'm really grateful to be bringing the Freedom Queen movement to London as the first takeover event with some incredible speakers that I'm bringing to the stage too, which, by the way, we've almost sold out. Woohoo! We are on the first few tickets, and it feels so yummy to say that and share that. But that's what it truly means to be a Freedom Queen. It's to be free. Yeah. It's to be free. That Bridget has created such a movement that it's not just Bridget James Ling now that comes on a call or creates an offer and you think Freedom Queen. It's the other women, it's the other people in the Freedom Queen world that show you this movement, that represent this movement. It's in all of us, it's in you. Yeah, whether you're here just in Cash in July and you've not yet dipped your toe in the next offer, or whether you are someone that has been in Freedom Queen, you'll know what it means to be free. You'll know what it means for you to create this, yeah? So as you go into the rest of this Cash in July challenge, I want you to play full out, yeah? Can I get in the chat? I am ready to play full out. I want you to allow yourself, as you go into the hot seat coaching with Bridget, to ask that $1 million question, to go in there, to connect, to allow yourself to play full out. Yes, Ali, I'm ready to play full out. Nelly, yes, Julia, Anna, Lolly, Sasha, Vanessa, light the chat up, light it up, light it up, light it up. Let's go, let's go. Oh yes, you're doing it, you're doing it. See, I knew you were movement makers, yeah? And that's it. It's simply frequency. It's like a switch, yeah? As a great mentor once told me, it's like a faucet. You get to just turn it on. That was Bridget, by the way. You get to turn it on and access the cash tap, the flow, the creation of. I can do it, so you can too. Do you believe that? Yeah? Do you believe that? I can do it, so you can do it too. There's no reason why we can't be sitting here on this call next year, in 3 months, in 6 months' time, that you don't come up to me in the room at Freedom Queen and go, Alicia, do you remember that call in Cash in July when you shared your story? It ignited something within me, and I went all in and I did that thing. What do you want to be celebrating by November? What do you want to be celebrating as you walk into the room at Freedom Queen Live? And if you haven't yet got your ticket to Freedom Queen Live, is it okay if, as I get to the end now of sharing this magical story, is it okay if I share with you a deal? Because I've got $10,000 worth of bonuses to drop, and they're only available this weekend. Oh my goodness, I know. Even Bridget's going to kill me when she hears this one. She's like, Alicia, what are you doing now? Drop in the chat, please do. Yes, tell me in the chat, what would you like? You know, girl math. I've even had people buy multiple tickets to Freedom Queen for my bonuses, honey, and give them to their clients. So if you're already coming to Freedom Queen, maybe you want to bring someone else, because movement makers don't just go first. They bring their friends, their clients, their team. They bring other people on the movement with them. So the Alicia May special Freedom Queen bonuses, are you ready for them? Are you ready for them to drop? Wow, they're tasty, they're delicious. So my bonuses include the following, and just for this weekend only, you have got until Monday, the 14th of July, to claim your spot under my link, which I'll drop in the chat in a moment. You can get, number one, a face-to-face experience with me in Florida for Freedom Queen Live. I have actually reserved out a beautiful restaurant just on the waterfront near St. Pete's Pier, and we're going to be having networking, drinks, nibbles. We're going to get together. You're going to get that in-person experience. Now, that has been locked down at the moment to 20 people, but I'm opening it back up for the next ticket holders that are signing up with me. Are you ready for that? So you get that experience included. That is all complimentary to come and network, be there in a smaller group in proximity with me, and come and be in person in the room with some other Freedom Queens. Number one, I mean, that's enough, isn't it? We could stop there, but we're not going to, because I'm the Queen of Abundance. So you're also going to get the opportunity to feature in a movie with me. I'm bringing my video team with me to Freedom Queen Live because at the moment I'm having a documentary made about my life and business. So you're going to get to feature in a formation style walk to camera that is going to feature on that video, and that video is going to go across streaming services in 2026. And you are going to get to feature in a movie. Who wants to be a main character and actually a celebrity and actually turn on celebrity status to feature in a movie and walk towards a camera and see that on TV and go, that was me. I was there with Alicia and her squad. Yeah. But that's not enough of an activation, because I want to get you ready for the room. I was the person that walked out of Freedom Queen Live last year, and I had a 6-figure month as an attendee. I didn't speak on the stage. I was an attendee in the room and I had a 6-figure month off the back of Freedom Queen Live. So I've created a month-long program that begins at the beginning of November before we go to Freedom Queen, called the 6-Figure Leverage. And I'm going to teach you how to utilize Freedom Queen and your own brand and your visibility as an icon to walk away from Freedom Queen Live, adding 6 figures to your income. Can you see why that's a 10K bonus? You are salivating, you are gagging, you're like, yes, Alicia, drop the link in the chat now, I am moving. Boom, there it is. All run to the chat at once. Grab your credit cards, get your PayPal link, tell your husband he needs to come over right now and give you all of his money. Let's do it, let's go. I will see you at Freedom Queen Live. Thank you so much for having me. Back into the room.
Oh my goodness, Alicia. How many of you guys can feel her energy is just contagious? You can see from Alicia coming up, like, okay, that is the energetic match for 6-figure months. That is the energetic match for walking the stage at Freedom Queen Live. And the best part is, just like she said, you can turn it on at any time. You can just turn it on, just decide. So I love this. Alicia, thank you so much. You guys can see Alicia's link in the comments to claim her bonuses, to grab your ticket to Freedom Queen Live. And Alicia, I cannot wait to see you. I just saw you in Tampa. We had manifested free mocktails, we had dinner, we had the most extraordinary mastermind at the Vinoy. I just saw you. I cannot wait to see you again. So without further ado, let's bring back up the woman who has brought us all together, Miss Bridget James Ling, the Freedom Queen herself, and we are going to be transitioning into some hot seat coaching. So if you are wanting Bridget, her eyes, her genius on your movement messaging to build out your high-end movement and really dive deep into everything that we've talked about over the Cash In Challenge, you can raise your Zoom hand. You can go down to the Reactions tab, tap the button there. You can raise your Zoom hand if you'd like to come up. And Bridget, welcome to the stage. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our final day inside of the Cash In Challenge. How are we feeling? Wasn't it amazing hearing from Alicia? We had this morning a private call and mapped out a multi-6-figure week for what she's building inside of her business. And I think what's so cool about her story is that we didn't know one another. And she was invited by somebody, and maybe somebody has invited you to Freedom Queen Live this week. And maybe you don't really know who I am, or maybe you do know who I am, but we haven't yet met in person, or maybe you want to go deeper together. Well, when Alicia was at Freedom Queen Live last year, something happened that I'll never forget this moment. So right before I'm going downstairs to the stage to pitch to everyone, right? I do an offer, I make an offer at Freedom Queen Live to join one of my long-term programs. This is the program that Alicia ran to the back of the room to join. And right before I'm going downstairs, I do a lot of prep work for things like my mindset, my speeches, my energy, my team is ready. Like we're always prepping everything. Same thing for this week, right? You can see how intentional we are. Somebody said to me, this is the best challenge that I've ever been to. So I'm prepping, I'm getting ready to go speak and sell in front of hundreds of people. And I get a text from Alicia saying, hey, can I join something of yours? Because I really like what's going on here. I think I said something like, get ready, you'll see it on the stage, something like that. And I'm coming down the elevator and I have my whole content team, because at Freedom Queen Live, we have videographers everywhere. Like I see people today still posting videos from last year because the Vinoy, it's so Instagrammable. And I'm coming down the elevator and the door is open and Taylor and Ryan are videotaping me and I'm getting all these shots, getting ready to speak on stage. I'm in my activating leadership style that we're going to talk about today. And Alicia's like, she comes up to me, run into each other. She's like, I'm buying that offer. I'm getting in whatever it is you're about to sell. And I'm like, okay, amazing. I'll see you there. And then she ended up joining the offer and made her money back and then what was it, 24 hours, something like that after she signed up for it. And I just love that story. And I love not only what I've taught you this week, but I love what you've been able to watch me model. that's really important to me, that I'm not just sitting here preaching build a movement where you're not the product. I'm modeling freedom for you at the highest level possible. We have our Freedom Queen MC team is here. I have speakers coming in. I have, Alicia, like she said, she's doing the first ever Freedom Queen takeover event in London that I'm not going to be at that event. It's the first Freedom Queen event that's real freedom. And so I want to model it for you at the highest level, how you can build a movement where people are buying your books, and they're not just buying your books, they're selling your books for you. Where when people join your year-long coaching space, they're not looking to have an arm and a leg and nonstop access to you, the human. They're like, I see what you're doing in this space and I want to learn about what it is that you've created here, but I also want to be a part of this. I feel like I belong. I see Adina is here. She just signed up for the Freedom Queen Mastermind, which includes your ticket to Freedom Queen Live. She was like, I'm in this. Like, I'm going above and beyond. I want to be a part of this. And some of the others, you have joined masterminds this week or programs, or you got your ticket to Freedom Queen Live. And so the reason, well, I'm wearing my Freedom Queen shirt today. This is ones we did last year. We'll have completely new merch this year at Freedom Queen Live, depending on what tier ticket you are. On the back of my shirt here, it says, movement makers go first. And what I really love about this slogan is the I go first. I go first is not something that we just slap on the back of our shirts. I go first is something that I live by. It's like I have to constantly pioneer. When I first started my company, it was so easy for me to go first. It was so easy for me to put myself out there, because how many of you in the beginning of your journey, when you first started, you were kind of delusional? You didn't have haters. You didn't have judgment. You didn't have your own inner doubts, your own inner criticism. You weren't trying to beat last month's numbers. You weren't obsessed with the stripe. You weren't worried about a thread. You weren't worried about people that liked you. You were just like, oh, I'm here. Hi, everyone. And you didn't really care. And so in the beginning, I found for me, it was actually easier for me to go first than as the years have gone on. Well, she's putting herself out there again. She's going to launch Freedom Queen Live. My first $1 million year was the year I launched Freedom Queen Live. This is August of 2023. And I didn't know if people were going to buy tickets. I didn't really have a plan. I was just like on a YouTube live, like, hey, would you guys like to buy these tickets to this event that I'm going to do next year? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, it's working. And obviously I've created the pathway for you all that I've taught you this week on how to build a movement that compounds over time, a real brand, something that people want to be a part of through the shared identity, the vision that we're painting for people, the pathway to transformation. But I didn't have all of that. I've developed it. And this is why Freedom Queen Live exists, for you to have 4 days where you can learn all about it, but not just learn about it, but do it in the room. Most of you don't need you don't need more time. You need a deadline. And so when I first started, it was so easy for me to just kind of keep putting myself out there. But how many of you are in this room right now where you need another go first moment? Where actually what you need to do is activate a new level of yourself. You don't need to remember who you are. You don't need to go back to who you used to be. You don't need to like resurrect the old version of you in business. What we need to do is bring forward a level of yourself that maybe you've never tapped into before. So when I'm doing things, I'm a human being. I have fears just like you. I have doubts. My brain will tell me the craziest things. I've had seasons where it feels like a war zone, where it's like constantly trying to upper limit. It's like, don't break through that ceiling, because if you break through that ceiling, there's going to be more eyes. There's going to be more things, and it's like not safe over there. It's scary, but it's only scary because it's foreign, because it's new. And I'll tell you something I've learned along the way of building a multi-million-dollar company that is scaled at insane rates is that most people aren't taking the amount of risks that are required to really build something extraordinary. And when you don't take risks and you don't put yourself out there, here's what happens. Number one, you don't get the wisdom. Everybody wants to be qualified through a certification. They're waiting for a client result. They're waiting for their Instagram to pop off. They're waiting for all of these things. That is not how you get qualified. You get qualified through experience, through falling on your face, through putting yourself out there and continuing to go first, even when everything is crumbling down around you, even when you're being criticized, even when you're shaming yourself, you still continue to go first. You still continue to put yourself out there. And most people in the online world, in life, aren't willing to take risks. And that's the entire point of entrepreneurship. And I'll tell you something, it's actually not that scary. I have found the most healing thing I've ever done for myself, and I would say this is the year where I'm the most Bridget Jamesling. I am the most freedom queen I've ever been. I am free, I am free, I am free, I am free, I am free. The most healing thing I ever did for myself was allow myself to go bigger. Was allow myself to exit the noise, exit all of the extra junk, the resistance. If you're inside of 50 to Freedom, I've been talking a lot about the resistance and the friction, to let go all of that and say, I'm going to be free. I'm free. Freedom queen. Going to be free. And go bigger. The most healing thing you can do for yourself is go bigger. Set your own self free. Decide to go first again. If you don't continue to do that, you will settle and you'll stagnate. Income will kind of stay, might go down a little bit. So the thing that has helped me the most be able to bust through an upper limit, because what happens a lot of times, and I really like this analogy, is you're growing in your business and you're growing and you're growing and you're growing, right? You're growing in your income and you hit a new milestone and then you hit the upper limit. And what starts to happen is you upper limit yourself rather than saying, I'm going to go first and make another big scary move. I'm going to do something else that's a big deal, something else that's a grand slam, something else that's dancing with the edge of my life. And because you stop continuing to go forth and forward and first, and you stop choosing to go first, you start to go like this. Then it starts to go down a little bit, but you're okay with it because you just hit a high, right? How many of you have ever done this? You hit a super high month and you're really happy. And you're like kind of riding that momentum, but you're not. You're telling yourself that you are. And so what starts to happen is you start to settle because you stop choosing to go first. And then you're going to hit your energetic floor. So you have an energetic ceiling and you have an energetic floor. What I'm really giving you is the formula for a quantum leap right now. And so you start getting here. Now, everyone has a different energetic floor. Some people's energetic floors are other people's ceilings. So you have a different energetic floor and you probably know what it is. It's like, this is a certain amount of money you make every month. And by the way, I really recommend that you make your new floor, your old floor, you raise the bar is what I'm saying. Because when you do that, you'll stop upper limiting yourself. So let's go back to this model. You just hit a high cash month. You tell yourself you're building momentum, but you're really not because you stop choosing to go first. And you start settling and you start pulling back and you stop posting, you stop doing all these things. Boom, you hit an energetic floor. Now, what happens when you get to your energetic floor is your brain starts going off. You need to do something. You need to make a change. You need to do something. And then you might make a move. So you might, and by all means, these moves will help you, right? Investing in yourself. I remember for me, it was going to my first ever event. Tickets were $997. I did not have the money to be there, but I was like, I'm doing it. And then 2 years later, I invested in a $50,000 mastermind for a year. And I didn't attend any of the coaching. I just went to the events because I know the power of events. And I did things that got me out of that energetic floor. And so then you make the move that gets you out of the energetic floor. And all of a sudden, what happens? You start getting momentum. And you start posting again, and you're bold, and you're sassy, and you're powerful, and everybody's liking you, and everyone's buying from you, and and then you have another high cash month, and then boom, you hit the ceiling again, and you do it again. And you go like this: floor, ceiling, floor, ceiling. If you want to bust through that ceiling, you have to make a move that is new to you. You have to activate something inside of you that goes, okay, I'm going to move. And I'm really speaking to the woman, the one here that's really destined to build something extraordinary. That's destined to do something that is so good for the world. It's so good for you and your family. It's so good for your heart. You're a creative human being. You are a superstar. You're meant to have your name in lights. You're meant to build something really big. In order to bust past that upper limit, you have to do something that activates you. And one of the best things that I started to do was not just make moves when I hit an energetic floor, but to make moves when I'm actually at a ceiling. To bust past it and to continue the compounding momentum. And if you've watched Freedom Queen, something a lot of my mastermind clients always reflect back to me, they're like, Bridge, you just like keep going. Like, what is that? Like, how you're just like, you're not like this. It's like, ooh, we're on the greatest ride of our lives, the greatest flying private jet of our lives. I'm like, because every time I hit a ceiling, rather than waiting for the floor to hit to pretend like I'm really growing, and you're not really growing, you're just addicted to dopamine highs. Every time you hit a floor, you get more dopamine again. I make a move even when I'm already at the top. You might have needed to hear that today. It's interesting to pray. It's interesting to hope. It's interesting to wish. It's interesting to move when your back is against the wall. But what about for some of you that are here watching this live, the replay in the future, where you're not against the wall? You're doing great. But you can do so much more, not because you need to, but just because you can. One of the most healing things I ever did was allow myself to just do things because I can, not because I need to. So in this mentorship call today, what I want to go, when I'm bringing you up for hot seat, I see Estelle is here, Vanessa, see a bunch of amazing people have their hand raised. When you come up, what I really want to talk with you about are two core things. One, positioning your movement in the marketplace. I want you to leave this call so that when you're at Freedom Queen Live, you know how you position yourself in the marketplace. And at Freedom Queen Live, we can really focus on high ticket sales, ascension, leadership, building the brand. And then the second piece is being an influential leader. Because what I have learned is that it is the intangibles, it is the unspoken conversation, it is the soft skills that have made me a multimillionaire. It is not the tactics. It's not the little things. So we're going to talk about two really high level things today. Is that cool? First, movement positioning in the marketplace. Second, influential leadership. How do you be someone that holds it all? And we go really, really deep inside of my mentorship because I do not do surface level. You do surface level, go learn surface level tactics some other place. We go really deep here because I want you to be a woman who can make millions on repeat, not someone who just makes millions because you know some tactic and then you lose it all. So with that being said, I'm going to bring up Estelle. And when you come up, make sure that your question, your contemplation, your conversation that you want to bring forward is either around movement positioning, your movement positioning, or you have a question around being an influential leader, somebody who activates the world. So with that, Estelle, come on up.
Hello. Can
Hi.
you-
Yes.
Good day, everyone.
Hello.
So I have this question. So you're telling me if I'm out of subject or not.
Okay.
When we on the first day or on the second day, you talked about the sense of belonging, and you said something that frictioned me. So this is why I point there,
Okay.
and it was about the who's gonna fit and what will make you I translated, sorry. um you said something like you need to go where you've been shamed or where you've been feeling irrelevant, and I didn't get the idea. I
Mhm.
repeat. So
Okay,
it,
I think I know what you're speaking to.
yes,
So, yeah. So what I'm speaking to is great salespeople see people. Like if you
mhm,
want to you want to build a movement where people are following you, you need to understand human behavior. And humans move based on core desires. These are hidden desires, and these are things that I said people feel shame around. They feel like I don't want anyone to know that, but that's actually why I want to build this. And when a leader, which is what you are and who you are, when a leader is willing to bring that conversation forward to the marketplace, and the buyer sees the leader call the core desire out. For example, let's say your client, for me, I know one of them was being famous, and some of you messaged me. I know Vanessa DM'd me. She's like, I didn't even know I had that core desire. I forgot about that one. When you bring them forward, it usually makes people go, I want to be a part of this. Why? Because you see people. And then at the same time, you want to think about who's not a part of your movement. So I gave the example on Monday. I said, I knew that by bringing forward this fame characteristic desire, that was also going to isolate people that didn't want to be famous. I knew that. But I had to be willing to go first and say that and call forward the one that I would want to work with so that I could have the many.
okay. So it's like you go, is it like you go a bit against yourself, like something you never wanted?
No,
And
not
no,
something you never wanted. It's something you do want that is deep down and you're bearing it.
okay.
So for example, a lot of times in people's marketing, they'll say things like, you want to lose weight. Lose weight is the obvious. Like, obviously that person wants to lose weight, but why do they want to lose weight? What's underneath of all of that? Obviously, when someone starts their business, they want customers, they want their customers to be happy, and they want to make money. So we need to be really good at understanding human behavior and say, why do they want that? That's what you're really marketing to. Let me give you a great brand example. There's this company called Liquid Death. Has anyone heard of it? Put a yes in the chat if you have Liquid Death. All it is water. It's just water in a can. But they understood something very clear about their buyer. Their buyer wasn't looking to be hydrated. Their buyer, because they're already drinking water, tap water, filtered water, water from the springs, whatever. Their buyer wanted to be cool. Their buyer were podcasters, video content creators, people in corporate that wanted to look cool, having their Liquid Death can of water on their table. So they were not marketing to get hydrated. They were marketing to a core desire that their buyer had, which was look cool. And it's the same thing. Everyone has this in their unique movements. And the people that are really good at calling forward core desires are the ones that make the most money.
Merci. Thank you.
Merci. How do you say you're welcome in French?
Avec plaisir.
Avec,
Avec plaisir. With
avec,
pleasure. Plaisir.
avec plaisir.
Yeah.
Avec
Yeah,
plaisir.
that's the correct way to say it. Many French will say de rien, which is horrible. You don't,
Okay, I'm not saying that. No.
avec plaisir. Avec
Avec
plaisir
plaisir.
ou je t'en prie, I pray you.
Avec plaisir.
Yeah, it's good. I write it. Merci
I
beaucoup.
love it. I'm going to France in August with a client for a VIP weekend, so I can't wait. Avec plaisir.
Exact.
Beautiful. Well, that was
Merci
such a
beaucoup.
great question. Avec plaisir. Okay, Vanessa. Vanessa, come on up, and I am looking forward to this convo, Vanessa. Vanessa, are you coming up? Ask to unmute.
Am I here?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I am so looking forward to this as well. So wild because I started my brand Reigns and I knew it was a thing, a movement. It was here to create impact, but I couldn't nail the meaning of it. I know what I do, but I couldn't really articulate it and narrow it down. This program brought all the puzzle pieces together in 4 days, and I was ready. Like, I was like, I'm ready for Reigns to blow the F up, but it's not clean yet because I need to really know the identity of who it stands for and what it stands for. And so over these few days, first of all, the core desires, what I loved about that is like it hits so deep. Like, one of my biggest core desires is to be seen. Like, I was in the not so smart classes. I never got picked for prom. I was never chosen. I was always the oddball. And it's always been a thing for me because I look a certain way and I've learned to be really strong, but most people never got me. And so in this program, I said, this is what I'm most passionate about, is helping people who feel like they're not enough and building that, like, you are enough. Like, I'm enough. I was not in the smart classes, but I'm brilliant in other ways. Like, I'm enough. And I want to be seen for it. And I realized I had been hiding myself for a long time, even as a coach. And then when you said to be famous, it was like what? Like, yes, like I completely forgot about that.
Wow.
So through this program, I've been narrowing down, but like at lightning speed. And it was, I want people to feel strong, to feel seen, to feel confident, and to lead themselves to millions. And I think that's probably the tagline is leading yourself to millions, because I do clean leadership. It's the only way I do anything. It's energetics, it's clean, it's integrity, it's light. And that's just how I roll, or you're not in my world. Like, that's just it. It's clean business. And so I really realized through this program, which I'm so grateful, is I want to help people feel seen not by just in the lights, but feel seen for who they are by like radical self-ownership. Am I
Yeah.
still there?
Yes, you're still
Okay.
here.
I can't see the screen, but I guess that's okay.
I'm here.
Okay, there we go. And helping them lead themselves to millions, becoming who they need to become to build whatever it is they dream of, right? The business, the relationship, to have it all. The only part that I'm a little is, and people have told me this all the time, you need to be helping people with confidence. Like, you've done it. You've gone from zero to like owning it, not giving an F what people think, becoming this version of you. Part I get stuck on is, do people really pay people to be confident, to be strong, to feel seen? Like, I did it for me, but do people really pay for that to get to millions? So I have a hard
Yes.
time with, is it the sales part or is it the confidence and identity part?
So for you, it's just the messaging around what confidence means. So you want to tie confidence to what the things are in their life that they're not confident in. So we just need to find out your dream buyer. What is she not confident in, or what is she insecure about? Is she not confident in using her voice? With what you said, she's clearly not confident about being seen. She's insecure. She thinks maybe she's going to get canceled. Her voice shakes when she speaks. She's afraid of people watching her. And it would be really nice if you can narrow in on one type of person, like, a high achieving woman.
Mm-hmm.
That would be an interesting one, who is seen, but simultaneously scared of being seen. I know I've experienced that over the years. So there are specific things. So in your marketing and messaging, what you don't want to say is like, I help you be confident, because that's not going to work. You want to make messaging that says, let's say you're anti-vehicle. Let me ask you this. What is your anti-vehicle? What's the thing that your clients have tried doing to be confident that just doesn't work for them?
Well, everything's energetic. So I work heavily into like, I read people like super intuitive. I read people really well. What hasn't worked is when you're not clean on the inside, when you're not cleaning up the internal. So I guess the
Yeah.
You want me to stop? Or
No, keep going. I'm like,
I'm like, okay, what do we do?
There we go.
The anti-vehicle is bullshit noise. It's not real. Like,
Yeah.
the truth is the thing that's going to bring you from A to Z.
Right. Okay. So your anti-vehicle might be things like, people say fake it till you make it. So they'll like, let's say are all of your people entrepreneurs or no? They could be corporate.
All different.
Okay, great. So you might feel the need to, your anti-vehicle is, you can put on a performance, you can put on the best outfit, you can get all of the coaching around what to say and how to advance inside of your career. But if internally your brain is still telling you that, and then this would be great, Vanessa, if you had a core thought, like you're not smart enough.
Oh, I do have a core thought. I have, okay, I have mastered making things look good my entire life. Like, I can make anything look like,
Yeah.
create any illusion and make everything look good. So this hits really deep because this has been my block in life.
Yeah, I tend to work with women like this because I have a background in performance and I went to performing arts school and then dance and did some things in New York City. And they're the sneakiest ones.
Yes.
You can put on a show, you know how to fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
And so that could even be your people. And they're typically like the same characteristics, like high achievers. They have some, like, they're usually, I find, like sports or dance, performing arts related because they had to put on to win, to get the spot. They're high achieving in their careers no matter what they're doing, but they're tired of putting on a front that's like a show or that's like a mask, when really inside they're thinking they're not smart enough, they're not pretty enough. So a great piece of content example for you would be, you can put all the masks on that you want. You can put on that you're this confident woman, but if deep down inside your brain still makes you think, I'm not smart enough to get this next career advancement, it's not going to work. And then you can say things like, join this movement, join this program, join this world, whatever, when you want to actually learn how to be confident from the inside out.
That lands so good. And that's so me. Like, I've been there, right? I've been that person.
Yeah.
So really good. Okay. And would that be part of the Reigns woman? Is that woman?
Yes.
Okay.
That would be that when we were talking about on day 2, the who and the vehicle, that's your who. And I really recommend you get that specific, just like I was. Like, you were probably in sports. Were you in sports or anything like that?
I knew how to make money. I worked. I was very creative, interior design. I owned a flower business. Like, I made
Okay.
things look good and I got paid big money
Yes.
for it.
That you have that competitive nature. Like, you know how to, you can tap into the hustle. Like, you know how to get that. Those type of people, competitive, they usually want to win. And so you put this front on, and that's great. And that's actually really helpful, especially for top performers and top tier people. But what if the inside felt as good as the outside?
Yeah. Okay. That's really good.
Yay,
Thank you.
of course. Wow, so good, so good. Okay, let's see here. Sylvie, come on up.
Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm currently in the gym.
Nice, I love it.
Um,
You know, my goodness.
yes, so you talking to Vanessa already helped me a lot.
Yep.
So my question is, I want to combine business coaching and high performance coaching. So actually what you said, the internal skills you need to run and scale your business. So I'm also not like a regular coach, and I want to build like a movement around it. And yeah, my vehicle is not this like masculine approach to high performance, but more
Okay.
the feminine or somatic approach. So not the hustle, not the burnout, but very aligned, very congruent. So I want to combine nutrition and identity work and nervous system expansion, and also emotional alchemy.
Okay.
And I have difficulties to really position it and name it because I want to combine so many topics. But at the same time, like, this is what makes me unique and special.
So what I would recommend, and I'm not sure where you're at in your business. I don't know what income or the growth of your company or how many people you've served or any of that. But what I would do is I would focus on the who that you want to be serving. If you have multiple, it sounds like you have many different modalities that you have inside of your company. I would then narrow in on the who. And so your who, from what I'm hearing, is I would target people that have tried the hustle, the burnout, the more masculine way of building a business. And I would speak to her, and I would also even speak to not necessarily an income level, but I like to speak to people's commitment levels. So a commitment level of business, like, are you a dabbler? Or are we like talking you're going to build this no matter what? So I would speak to the commitment level, that they've tried the masculine way, and that your vehicle, or what I've been teaching this week, your pathway to transformation is a multitude of, and I would give it a name here though. So I would call it like energetic and somatic work. And then in there, you can decide the different modalities that you do with people. But I would at least narrow in on like energetics and somatics so that it's not so vague to the point where you're saying, well, I could do breath work, I could do somatic work, I could do energetic work, identity work, embodiment work. And people are like, I don't even know what you can help me with.
Yeah, this is where I get overwhelmed because actually I don't want to call it like energetic or somatic work because this is what Julian, other coaches also call like their method or approach. So
Well, you
yeah.
got to call it something that makes sense to people.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
and
would you advise to put together so many modalities, or would you focus on just one in your messaging and maybe also do others in your coaching then? But how would you approach it?
that's a great question. On the front end of your marketing, I would pick about two.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
really
cool.
become known for them. I used to have a colleague, he did muscle testing where
Mhm.
he would like ask you what your fear was around. He's like, I make this amount of money. And then he would respond to your body. And he became so known for just muscle testing that people that own multiple 9-figure companies hire him, but he also does other work. And there's something really profound about expertise, about mastering something than trying to be a master at all these different things. But once they come into your world, then you can branch out and add those things in.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I have to decide what I want to be known for. Okay.
Yeah, and then it's not, here's the thing, you can change. So you might as well spend, this is why we're doing 50 to Freedom. I don't know if you're in 50 to Freedom, but 50 days where you're just focused on this one core thing for 50 days and harvest, reap the rewards from it. And then you can pivot and change. But what most people do is they never focus. And so their messaging is all over the place. And they never actually give themselves time to really harvest off of all the seeds that they've planted for the one core plant that they wanted to grow. They were trying to grow everything, and then their garden got all messed up.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yes.
That helps a lot. Thank you very much, Brit.
I'm so happy, Sylvie. That's the biggest thing is like we want to be clear for our people. And the thing is that you can change. Like what I'm known for right now might be different 10 years from now, and that's okay. So I just want to get focused on this. Like if you haven't made $1 million or you're not a millionaire yet, just forget about all the extra stuff. Like just focus on the thing that you want to be building, then branch out beyond
Yes.
that.
And go first. Just go
Yes.
ahead. Okay. Thank you so much.
Of course, you're so welcome. Oh my gosh, I see so many amazing people here. Okay, Yvonne Wilson. I haven't seen you in a while, Yvonne.
Hello. Oh my God. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I think, you know, I've been in your world since 2022, but I have to say, I think this experience has had so much depth. I don't know if it's the way that you've been like articulating this work, but it's just landed so much harder than other trainings, and I'm absolutely loving it.
I'm so happy. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so I think my question has to do with just some direction. Just kind of give me like kind of like what you would do. So as
Okay.
you know, I work with I'm a money coach, right? So I do management and mindset, and I don't want to be known for the management because there's just so much more that I've done and built and pushed through that's like nothing to do with numbers.
Yeah.
And so everyone in my industry is usually leading with the management, and I don't want to be known for that. So I really have been trying to figure out my messaging around the energetic parts, more of the, yeah, just like the recoding my subconscious and doing more of the mindset work. And it's been really difficult because a lot of the information that I've been putting out on TikTok, it gets shadow banned because I'm talking about money. And like, I just don't think society wants me to give that information. So it's been hard to articulate my work and the way that like to just genuinely help people and get them a result without it being flapped. So that's a big deal itself, right? But then also, I think that
Well, there are that is true, but it's also not true because there are so many money coaches on different platforms that find a way to not get shadow banned. So what I have found when it comes to talking about money on the internet, I don't do TikTok anymore, but when I used to do TikTok, there were certain things you could or couldn't say. And so just needs to be a shift in how you present the idea on the platform in order to still target the right person. And obviously there are nuances like maybe your account has been shadow banned or there's a hit on the account or there's restricted access that then inhibits you, but you could always start a new account. So right there, I would write that, take that limiting belief and just throw that one away. Because there's so many people that talk about money on the internet.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, but that's been frustrating. So I can definitely, you know, work in that area and lead from that point of view. Um, I think too, what's been happening is I've been jumping from how can I still educate my audience in the more energetics while also including some of the management. I find that I'm going back and forth, and that's been really difficult and confusing to myself and my messaging, my offers. And now I finally have one core group program that I'm really focused on. And it's more of like a management, but I want it to bridge into the mindset. So how can I like present my content in a way that's going to be management, but I still want to talk about my vehicle, which is the legacy frequency.
Mindset stuff. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what legacy frequency is, right? The mindset stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's all about vision, discipline, and intentionality.
Okay. So when you're doing your marketing and your content, and this is movement positioning, I would really speak to why you can have a budget, you can have an investment portfolio, you can have different assets, but if your mindset behind the money that's being allocated to different areas is stuck in scarcity, it's stuck in trauma, it's stuck in fear, it's going to be way harder for you to grow your assets and to grow your income using different financial vehicles that we have available for you inside of these services. So when you work with me, I'm not just going to say, okay, let's invest in these different stocks, let's put it in these different real estate portfolios, let's do this with our budget accounts, let's do this with our Roth. I'm not just going to help you do that. I have to help you on a cellular level rewire the way that you think about money. Because if every time you open up your brokerage account, you go like this into fight or flight and fear mode, how do you expect yourself to build a legacy? Right? Because you're my buyer and you want to build a legacy. And I asked you this the other day, and a legacy means, and then I would get descriptive on what a legacy means. A legacy means that you have income generating for your children as they as they grow older. A legacy means that when you pass away from this planet, this earth, that there's still money coming through. A legacy means that when you're in your 60s, you're not thinking to yourself, I have to work, although my ideal buyer loves working. So you're probably going to be working and creating in your 60s. But the point is that you don't have to, you have a choice. So when you work with me, we're going to work on two parts. What are they? One part is the way you experience money, because this is so important, right? How many of you are afraid to open your bank account? You don't want to look at it, right? That's not a strategy issue around your money. That's an energetic issue. So we're going to work on that together. And then the second piece is, what do we actually do with your money now? And so join my program where I'm going to teach you how to do both of these, how to invest your money to make more, and how to stop being so afraid of money so that your children can have money after you leave this planet, but also you're preparing for the future. It's $10,000.
Okay.
That's your whole sales pitch.
Yeah, that
Right.
was incredible. Yeah. Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense, you know, trying to like reel them in with the mindset and then to say, hey, well, like, let's actually do the thing and get it done. Because I think that it's like, it begins with the identity and how you, yeah, just like how you, of course, receive, hold, spend, all of those things. And so that this program specifically isn't for solving that problem of that, but I think that could definitely be the next step, which would make a lot of sense. So yeah, okay. Amazing. Yeah, I'm really excited to take this vehicle and to just like make this new content because I've compiled all of what I've learned from you. And it's just, I've been in so many different directions and I've finally narrowed in on six-figure coaches because I'm just tired of everybody else. And so it feels so good to have the messaging point because yeah, I've heard it all and I'm so tired of it.
You know, that is so specific. Are you making 6 figures in your online business? That is so specific.
Yes. Amazing. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. And I see some people coming on. All right, let's go to Sasha. Sasha, come on up.
Hey, Bridget. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I have you in my earpiece. My baby was asleep and now she's babbling. So,
Wait.
and I only let her see and listen to like coaches. So no TV or anything like that, which is awesome. She was in it.
I'm honored to be the entertainment.
Yes. No other entertainment. All right. So where am I with this? I narrowed down to Serene Chaos as my movement. And now that I've tied Serene Chaos as a brand, as a movement, I'm receiving like crickets. It's more like people are holding and anticipating and seeing what I'm building, as opposed to my essence before, where I was still speaking about energetics. I was still speaking about mindset. I was still speaking about somatics. And now that I've like slapped a label on it, made it a movement, like I haven't had any momentum whatsoever.
Well, that makes
So my
sense.
question, yeah, and I'm not coming from a place of woe is me. I'm coming from a place of acknowledging that. So, and I resonated with the past 4 people that came up, the 4 women that came up on a multitude of levels, because I can see people. I instead have received DMs from 6-figure men asking me, how can they expand more? How can they deepen more? How can they move more? I've heard it from sexual trauma all the way up to like feeling so down in the dumps, wanting to commit suicide. And so I know how to hold that. I know this got a little deep, but I know how to hold all of that. And now I'm in the position of, how do I position myself and position Serene Chaos? Because that's what it is. I know how to look good. They knew how to look good, but then their depths were wonky.
Okay,
And
forget
so
the name Serene Chaos. Like I was talking to a client yesterday and I was telling her, I was like, when I first started talking about Freedom Queen, I didn't really bring forward, team, can you make sure that other people are muted besides Sasha and I? Thank you so much. I think Estelle is still unmuted. So I was talking to a client yesterday and I was saying how I would never, when I first started bringing forward Freedom Queen, I would never say like, I would never do a training on what it means to be a Freedom Queen. Because at that point, people just wouldn't buy it. They'd be like, I don't care what a Freedom Queen is. Tell me what this is going to do for me. And so when you come up with like a movement name or title, you don't want to lead with that. You want to remember this was I love it. So many of my clients have babies now. It's so good. You don't want to lead with the name of the movement. We want to think about it as a brand association. So your brand association is Serene Chaos, but that's not the main messaging. So we would like infuse that into your marketing, right? Like that's at like the sign off in the email. That's in your, when you talk, you're like, and that's why we are a part of Serene Chaos, which means these things. So instead of leading with that, I would sprinkle that into the messaging and more so explain who is Serene Chaos for and what does Serene Chaos actually mean.
I muted you so you wouldn't hear my baby babbling while you were speaking. So yeah, okay, great. So it's towards identity, emotional alchemy, breath work. I do a lot of breath work, mindset, and meditation,
Okay.
which I wanted to apply for your speaker, roundtable speaker, but I didn't meet the income requirement. So, but with that, bringing breath work,
Wait, there's not an
somatics,
income
mindset.
requirement for it. You mean to pay the fee?
Yeah, I'm in it right now, Bridge. Like
I wanted to,
backstory.
yeah, I wanted to be clear. There's not an income requirement. Like, you don't have to be making a certain amount to be in. No, just getting muted.
Yeah, I continue to mute because I'm my baby's babbling. So okay, great. Then I will apply for sure. Because I'm definitely in it. A single mom of a 7-month-old, masterminding myself to death sometimes. So being here is great. So what you're saying, just to reflect back, is take everything that I'm doing and sprinkle it into Serene Chaos as the vehicle. Or can you
I would
clarify
not
that?
even say Serene Chaos on the front end of your marketing. You want to explain what Serene Chaos is. For example, if someone asked me what I did, I would never say I build Freedom Queen movement. I would say I teach women how to build movements that build multi-million-dollar companies.
Okay, perfect. All right. Yeah, because I've also been on a download code of spiritual currency. Your currency starts within first. It's the way you speak to yourself, it's the way you hold yourself, it's the way you move the room, it's the way you just honor what you're doing in life, and then that ripples out into wealth. And that piece has been very important because the guys that have come to me, they're like at that I'm imploding type of mode, and I want to expand, and then I've seen them run with it. And so, yeah, I forgot where I was going with that, but thank you for that clarification.
And you're
Yeah.
in your messaging, we just want to say like, okay, this is who Serene Chaos is for, and then describe who it's for. And then this is what I do with you. So the modality and what I heard from you is the breath work, the meditation, that's what you actually do with people. And then the result is, and then we want to go into the results. Like you have this, you feel this way, you think this way, you have this sense of freedom in your life, you're no longer having the negative thought spirals anymore. So, and then you say, and that's called Serene Chaos.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, great. Well, thank you.
Yes, of course. Okay, let's see here. Let me see who has and who have I not brought up in a minute. Taruni, is that how you say your name?
Yeah, Taruni.
Taruni.
Yeah. So
Beautiful.
glad to meet you. I actually joined your world a week back, and then I was directly into 50 to Freedom. And then, of course, I saw this program, so I jumped in here and I'm really enjoying it.
I'm so
So,
happy.
thank you so much for this. So, I don't want to waste your time. I want to go directly into all the things that I have already worked on. So, my vehicle is basically Soul Rich Identity. And why? Because I believe so. I'll first tell you my anti-vehicle. I always have heard that act like your higher self, take action like your higher self. I did that. After my maternity leave for 5 months, wrote content, did everything, and I didn't get results, right? But when I actually returned to my soul identity, that self-worth, that self-trust, that's when everything changed. So it's an embodied work that I have done for myself. So that's the anti-vehicle. And my vehicle is Soul Rich Identity.
Nice.
And the
But what are
brand
you
I
saying in Soul Rich Identity?
when I say soul rich identity, that means when you return back to the identity you were born with. That means the kind of self-worth, the kind of self-trust you had, like you didn't have to ask your parents when you needed or you desired something. You just knew that I'm gonna get it. You never questioned your self-worth. You never questioned the trust you had in yourself and in your parents. So
Mm.
that kind of self trust and self-worth you need to have in yourself, right? So that's what I mean. So my audience is basically self-led, very self-aware people, service providers and coaches,
Nice.
who are like, they're very self-aware, but still they are like when the DMs are not that fast, right? When they get any kind of dip in their income, they question their self-worth. They stop showing up for that day, and maybe they are like, oh, I'm feeling a little low, that's why I'm not showing up. So those kind of things. So what
You're
I
very
actually
clear.
do, yeah, thank you. So what I actually do is I teach you how to return back to your soul identity. So my the steps of my vehicles are, vehicle is like limiting beliefs, unlearning limiting beliefs and the patterns you have got from the society, from your parents, from your ancestors, whatever it is. We unlearn all of these things through like subconscious rewiring and rewriting, and then soul identity, like the way people say, step into your next level identity. I say return back to your soul identity, learn that level of self-worth, that
Yeah.
level of self-trust you were born with, right?
Okay.
And
What
then
what are you looking for support with?
I am looking to for support with that, whatever I'm saying, how do I position this? Like, everything is clear to me, but I wanted your eyes on this, and really wanted to know like how to position this,
Mm-hmm.
because I have
Okay.
recently pivoted, Bridget. I was a social media strategist for coaches. So I have been doing this work for a very long time, and I teach content as well that comes from
Okay.
your soul, not
So
not just
you
from
really
strategy.
positioned yourself in the doer. And we talked
Yeah,
about that.
and now it's like transition period, so it's not that easy, because you have been seen as service providers. Maybe it's a limiting belief.
Well,
uh,
it is harder if you don't move with confidence and certainty and high levels of conviction, and
mhm.
you have to work with me, and if you're struggling to articulate, it will be harder. Yes, that's true. But if
Yeah.
not, then it's not harder. So I want you to just remove that belief, kind of what I was saying to Yvonne, and buy into the belief, I just got to get really good at messaging.
Yeah.
And so when you say soul identity, that is very similar to what I was giving Sasha feedback before around serene chaos. The brain doesn't think of anything. So I actually recommend that you stop talking so much in your front end about soul identity, and soul identity, that is like in the caption. It's in the now. When you're
Yeah.
doing your marketing, however, and the content, you want to speak to exactly, you made a really great point, and that's when I said you're very clear, is when I said you said to me they're questioning themselves. So you go to post on the internet and all of a sudden you're thinking, is this good? And people going to judge me? And so rather than making the post, you delay it by 8 hours and never post.
Yeah.
And now you're not showing up for yourself, not because you don't know strategy, but because your soul identity, this is where I would loop it back in, your soul
Mm-hmm.
identity has been forgotten. And so then you overthink everything inside of your business. Let me
Yeah.
tell you what soul identity is. Soul identity is helping you remove all of the extra junk that you've
Mm-hmm.
brought into your head that makes you
Mm-hmm.
overthink posting content, and is going to help you come back to who you are, so that every time you make a move, it's a complete energetic alignment, and you never overthink anything again.
Yeah, because and the brand identity that I have given is like soft, rich, and unbothered. Why? Because this is exactly who I have become. I'm unbothered with all the limiting beliefs, or all the thoughts that comes again and again. All these things. So they actually want to be unbothered by all these things, and they want to lead themselves without thinking about without giving their power to all these things. So yes, and the content that I have been creating, it's all basically the things that I told you, just you mentioned, that they feel this way, so create content on all those things, the problems and the desires. So I have been creating content on those things basically. And then when I need to like connect it to my offer, that's where I'm using soul rich identity.
Yeah. But I haven't looked at your content, but what I'm definitely forecasting or thinking is happening is that you're not being specific enough in what they're experiencing
Uh-huh.
and why they're experiencing those things.
Okay. That means like I need to create content basically for all those things, and talk about the soul identity thing later in the content,
In
wherever
the
I'm
content. So
like
the
tying it back.
yeah, like the hook that brings people in is specific to what they're experiencing in a business, as a business owner, and why
Mhm.
they're overthinking things.
Okay. Can I give you an example of one of my content pieces?
I'm gonna move on to the next person so that we can have more time for everyone, but
Okay.
you can put it in the chat or post it inside of the Facebook group, and maybe can
Sure.
somebody here give Tarduni feedback inside of the
Sure,
group?
sure, sure. Thanks, Bridget. I'll do that.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, Maria.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
First, I have to say thank you, Bridget, for this challenge. I think it's worth millions. So I'm gonna try to be quick with my question. So with everything that we've been working these days, I've been changing all my messaging, and I would love to have some insights or feedback from you on you think it's
Okay, let's
like
do it.
I'm on the right path and everything. So I want to attract engineers who want to change career to do something meaningful and that lifts them up. So
Wow.
the name of my movement, the identity could be engineers on purpose. I don't know if that makes any sense on English because I work in
Perfect.
Spanish. Okay. The result of working with me could be to be clear on what you want and to discover the career that feels right for you and that lights you up and has meaning for you. And the vehicle, in my case, would be to discover and use your unique code to find the ideal path for you. And your unique code would be to discover your passion, your unique talents, your unique values, your unique vision for your life, all this stuff. So the only thing that I'm not clear on is the name of my method. So I don't know if that's really that important because I don't want to spend more time thinking about that.
Nope,
Um,
that's not important.
okay, but in general, I would love to ask you um, your insights about it, and also what's the best way that I can use this on my daily marketing. Everything that you told Sasha before was really useful already, but if you could lead with the vehicle or with the identity, or how
Really
would you
good.
do
So
it?
you are very clear that you're engineers who don't like being an engineer and want to do something else in their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You're very, very clear on the who, and you're also clear on your vehicle. You're not going to teach them as sometimes I've worked with different people that help people exit corporate, and they help them do like become a virtual assistant or a bookkeeper. In your case, you're not helping them become something else, you're helping them discover what that is. And so
Mhm.
in your marketing, what I would be very clear on, exactly to what I was saying to Taruni before this, is that you focus on what they're currently experiencing while being an engineer. So it's like you log into your engineer job and you're really smart and you're great at coding and you're great at math and you're great at pulling all of these things together for your company, but you have this creative idea to start something else. And what would be really great, Maria, is if I'm assuming you're the same, that this was your story.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
what I found in the beginning, what the best marketing tool that I ever used was my story. And I use this story all the time. I was walking to work, it was snowing, I was in the Bronx, and I'll never forget calling my mom and crying and saying, I don't want to do this anymore. I know that I'm so much bigger than a 9-to-5 job. And I would go to work from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. I would take the train from the Bronx to the Lower East Side, and then I would work another job until 11 p.m. and then I would take the train back up to the Upper East Side. And then I would take ZzzQuil at night to fall asleep because I was so caffeinated all day long that I couldn't sleep at night. And I was so anxious and worried all the time. I knew I could do something more with my life. And so then I start to explain my vehicle of how I got out of that and what I started to do. So I would use your story. If you have the story of you being an engineer and you are in purpose, that's the first best thing that you could lead with.
Mhm. Okay, you're really good at words, I have to say. Thank you for that.
I'm so happy. It's great to meet you.
Yeah, right. It's the first time that I'm being in your world, but the second time I was also in the power activation, and this
Okay.
is great. I'm loving it. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're so welcome. Okay, I want to see what's going in the chat. Taruni placed her content here. Someone can give her feedback. Morgan, I saw drop the 50 to Freedom link. So 50 to Freedom, it's $111 and it's a 50-day experience with me. So we've already started. We started on July 1st in 50 days. So we go into August together. And in there, that's where I'm talking about sales, content, leadership, and growing your income. So it's a 50-day experience to essentially increase your income, impact, and influence. And so if you want to join that, click that link to sign up. It's $111. For those of you that are already in it with me, put something in the chat that you love about 50 to Freedom. I saw Natasha, she posted in the group, she said, I just had a $25,000 cash day. She just shared, celebrate that inside of 50 to Freedom. So if you're not a part of 50 to Freedom and you want to continue to work together through a little bit more of this summer and stay on your pathway of exactly what we've been talking about, knowing what your movement is and how it's positioned in the marketplace, then how to put that into your content to sell that in your content, and then how to actually create more high ticket sales on the back end of it, join that program because I'm giving a lot of trainings inside of that space. We do weekly calls in 50 to Freedom, and then there's a Telegram group, and the calls are amazing that we do every Wednesday, but I think one of my personal favorites is the trainings that I'm dropping in Telegram, and a new training is coming today. So we are at time. We've been together for 90 minutes. How has this week been for you? 50 to Freedom already increased your income by 222%. Get in. Team, can you drop that link in the chat if you haven't? Natasha's 50 to Freedom is awesome. Do it. Okay. Yes. That is massive. How many people are in there? The limit does not exist. Yes. I love consistency about 50 to Freedom. Yeah, you do these 5 things every day in order to increase your income. So how are you feeling? We are day 5 of the Cash In event that is designed to teach you how to have a movement that's positioned different in the marketplace. I've had the most extraordinary feedback from you all. I've gotten, even calls with my private clients like, Bridge, Cash In has changed my life. It is the best program that we've done that's free. So what the next steps are is, number 1, come to Freedom Queen Live, our annual event, our annual conference for female entrepreneurs. It is $997, and that ticket will sell out. I don't know if we're increasing the price point on it, but make sure that you get your ticket as soon as possible. The bonus for Freedom Queen Live with your $1 million year expires on July 19th. You're welcome to buy a ticket through myself, or you're welcome to buy a ticket through any of our amazing roundtable speakers or top affiliates that came up and they gave you some incredible bonuses. I will see you at Freedom Queen Live in November 20th to the 23rd. And if you're looking for support right now, like you're like, hey, I want to get into something with Bridget. No, you cannot buy your $1 million year only. You can only get it with your ticket to Freedom Queen Live. It's a great question Miriam said in the chat. If you're looking for more coaching support, I invite you to join 50 to Freedom. The team will put the link in the chat again. It's $111 and it's 50 days with me inside of this space. And it's a lot of high-level strategy. That's that program. And it's not free. So it's a different type of person that's inside of that room. They're like, I'm obsessed, I'm doing this. Get your ticket to Freedom Queen Live. And alternatively, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I want to go right to the top, you want to be in one of my masterminds, then message me on Instagram and tell me where your business is at. Maybe you've already made multiple millions inside of your company, 7 figures, 8 figures, and you're looking for support on scaling your company to multi 6-figure cash months and beyond. And you want to create a business that's not just built around you being the service provider, but really a movement, a place where that's the product, a place where people want to be a part of and scale out your one-to-many offers and bring up your recurring revenue, then message me on Instagram. We have our highest level mastermind. We have actually a couple different masterminds that you can apply for. And then if there's a certain soul watching this and you're looking for some private work with me, we'll have to see what I have available. Team might say, no, we don't have any mail available. So we'll check the schedule, but you might as well reach out and see what we have going on. This has been one of the most incredible weeks. It has made me fall in love with movements in a way that I was already in love with movements, but to watch, there's over 1,000 people in this, and this is going to be something that if you're watching this in the future, congratulations, hello future selves, that we continue to invite people to be a part of. It has made me fall in love with movements in a way that I didn't even know it was possible. It's made me really be so proud of this work, as I've seen so many of my incredible clients come up and speak to you about when they implemented exactly what I've taught you this week, utilizing the high-end movement methodology. They've scaled their businesses to $1 million. Some of them are going to be walking the stage this year at Freedom Queen Live, getting their $1 million award. Some of them I just celebrated their first $100,000 cash month. And what's so great about being inside of Freedom Queen is something I'm super proud of, is that it's not just make one big month, it's create a woman who can continue to lead and grow a massive company so that you can make it over and over and over again. So I will see you on the internet. I'll see you on Instagram. I'll see you on social media. Make sure you get your ticket to Freedom Queen Live at freedomqueenlive.com before it sells out. And if you want to continue coaching, message me on Instagram about our masterminds or join 50 to Freedom. Okay, everyone, I will see you at Freedom Queen Live, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone.